Hi, welcome to the Stockinette Zombies. I'm Amy, also known as J Nitma.
And I'm Megan, also known as Just Run It. And this is episode 227. 227.
Cool.
It is 10 days till Christmas.
I believe.
Yes.
Great. I don't know why work is always like end of the year crazy. Like, oh, everybody needs to put everything on, And
You're going to be jealous of my tomorrow then. I'm taking my team out for lunch. And then my manager is taking us all to Rogue One.
No, nice.
Yeah. Last year we did
The other one.
the other one. Yeah.
Okay, cool.
So, yeah.
Yeah, I would be pretty jealous. I'm assuming he already reserved the tickets.
Yes, we're not just all showing up. But, yeah.
On opening day going,
Yeah.
okay, we're going to sit down now.
Isn't it? Yeah. He's like, I'll beat you. I'm going to go see it tonight here in an hour and a half. No, ma'am?
No,
ma'am.
I would fall asleep. Don't care how good or interesting the movie is, I would probably fall asleep.
That's right, you're one of those.
Well,
Not a night owl like me.
yes, I turn into a pumpkin at a certain hour, and we approach it just about every time.
How have things been going?
Yeah, busy, as always. And like I said, work is contributing to a lot of that, but just trying to keep on keeping on.
Yep.
And
Yeah, we had an unexpected trip. Jeremy's grandfather passed away, and so we had to head down to Iowa. And then the weather was really bad here, so we kind of left early, thinking that we might beat the bad weather here, but it had already hit in Iowa, and so we had a pretty big detour past Des Moines on I-80 where it was closed. I know that there's Iowans that watch, and if any of your lives were impacted by I think there were 4 people that died on I-80 in kind of cascading accidents, and so my complaining about having an hour detour is probably the least of the worries, but it was not great traveling. And then I hadn't really realized how much I was putting off until that weekend, until I didn't have it. So I came back and had to put the Christmas tree up and do a bunch of laundry. The house needed cleaned in various spots, and a lot of last minute shopping went on. So
yeah, tomorrow I might be able to sneak away and do some shopping, especially if there's no snow
real
yet.
life?
Yeah, in real life. Yes, not online. Yeah.
You gotta be careful. We've actually had some thefts in the neighborhood. People,
Oh, wow.
Yeah, people have been reporting that not only were their packages stolen, but the thieves are just like opening the packages and leaving the packaging, sitting there and taking the goods out of them.
I guess that's so you know that it arrived and was stolen.
I guess, yeah, because to me, like, you might suspect that it got delivered to the wrong address, because we've had that happen, right?
Yeah.
When that Fitz Kits.
Fitz Kits, that's right.
Yeah, got lost around this time last year. It was cold. The neighbors were somewhere warm. And the person that was watching their house put the packages inside and didn't notice that it wasn't addressed to them, and then they didn't notice until they got back and were kind of putting things in order. But anyway, yeah, so Scrooges do exist out there. And so we've been kind of trying to keep track of, make sure that our packages are arriving and not being...
Well, I've also had a lot of things started to arrive at one at a time. Like I order 3 things, and it'll be like one package, and then the next day another package, and the next day another package. And it's like, come on! How hard is it to get them all in one box? I know that they want to not delay all of, your things, so it's good that they're trying to get them to me, but also at the same time I'm like, really? This is like, so I can't like track that I got everything, right? It's like, oh, it came in pieces.
Yeah, that's the thing that, I don't know. And I think that this part of my personality is why I don't like to have a bunch of work in progresses at any given time, is that I don't like to have to go, okay, I ordered 5 things, and one of them arrived that day, and one of them, like it's mentally ticking and tying and making sure that I haven't forgotten something or lost something or something didn't get left behind. And it's just a cognitive load. So Jeremy actually started a spreadsheet where we're tracking whether or not we received things. One, I'm for sure gonna. I ordered it for myself, which is a bad thing to do for Christmas, but it's pretty comical. I'll wait for the in real life effect. Okay. Yeah, it's pretty fantastic. The thing that I wanted to get, like under the guise of it's for my all of our extended family and our family, have you seen the Pancake Bot?
Mm-mm.
So cool. And again, this is just me being a techie, geeky person. But basically you can upload images and it pixelates them, and there's free software that you download, and then it's a griddle with like a robotic arm, and it just goes across and like 3D prints, and like so if there's depth of color, the first layer goes on first so that it gets darker, and then it layers on another layer, and they've done like the Eiffel Tower, Einstein's face. It's so cool. I want one, and I want one to take home for Christmas so that they're not in stock. They're like a cool thing. Mm-hmm. They're like the Furby for you can't get them anywhere. But yeah, Pancake Bot. So cool.
Okay.
You don't want to be able to program a pancake that
How
looks
much
like
is this thing?
$300.
No, I do not.
I want to make a Stockton of Zombies bear pancake. We could totally serve them at ZK.
Expensive.
One at a time. No, just one at a time. Make up pancakes. That's where it falls apart for me. It's like, but my children can eat a pancake much faster.
Oh yeah, like 2.5 seconds.
Yes, right? Yeah.
Oh, where's the next pancake? Hold
So
on.
to me, it's like having a 3D printer, but you're printing something that's edible, and yeah. Anyway, Pancake Bot. So cool. Go check them out. I think they've got the 1-foot ones are in stock, and they're the same price as the 2-foot ones that are out of stock because they're red and shiny and pretty and stuff. But I want the 2-foot one because my designs are going to be big.
You have a big family. You need to be able to scrape off a giant pancake
that looks like Chaz sleeping on the couch. Yeah. Anyway, I feel like this is Megan's favorite things or something like that.
Well,
is there anything you're yearning for
I
Christmas?
bought myself one of those little. It's a printer of Polaroid pictures. So, but you just use an app on your phone, so you can take like your selfies or whatever, and then just print them immediately to this fun little Polaroid. And it is a Polaroid because it comes out white, and you have to wait for it to do the magic and become a picture. And
that is fun.
Yeah, it's really fun. And so I bought I think a 30-pack of the prints, and said, okay, if we use this over Thanksgiving and I just absolutely think it's a complete waste of money, it'll just go back to the store. And I actually had a lot of fun, and you know, Matt was asking about what he wanted to print and whatnot, and now I'm thinking about, it's so portable. It's this teeny tiny thing, taking it to Christmases and getting people to do selfies and print out the images.
It's like that sounds like all the fun of the Polaroid, except but none of the like, my face was like,
yeah,
right? Like, because you can choose
your picture,
what you're going to print, right?
Yes. And the other thing about it was, you know, it comes with the like little reprint as well. So like, if it comes out and people are like, I really like that, they can just hit a reprint button so that you and your friend can have them. And but you know, it's like Matt was like, I hate to ask how much these were per print, you know, And it's like, well, you got to think about the fun. And it's almost like a photo booth like we do at the retreat, but just in this tiny box where you can
portable and
use your own phone and an app, and
very cool.
And it just asks for a passcode, so I could just tell people, like, oh, okay, everybody can download this app right now, and here's the code for the week, and you guys can print prints. Very cool. I'm gonna have to load up on
not as
film.
cool as a pancake bot, but
cool. Yeah. Well, and I already purchased it during the holidays because it went down by a significant amount of money. And they do have, HP has Wink, I think. It's their version of this, but it's not a Polaroid paper. It's something different, but it is inkless paper. It just doesn't look like a Polaroid when it comes out. This one looks like a Polaroid. You feel like you want to shake it, but that's not the magic. You just set it down.
Shake it like a Polaroid picture.
And then, not much else. I mean, I have a few things to talk about in,
My
Maybelline,
husband on Black Friday did buy us a dot. And so you guys won't be able to see her, but Alexa is now joining us in here.
Oh.
So she's hearing everything that we say.
Oh boy.
Alexa, what's the temperature? Did she get unplugged? I bet she got unplugged.
Oh, she was over there. I see a thing.
Yeah. Well, she got unplugged.
Darn.
Alexa can't tell us that it's -7 outside.
Darn.
That would have been fun. Really entertaining for all of you people that are someplace warm.
Yeah. I was thinking about those like the Google and Alexa and whatnot, and I was just like, I'm still freaked out by them.
Yeah, well, and I think they've come out recently and said that they listen to everything that you say, and that all of that gets beamed back home, and she's become a part of our life. Like we listen to music through her. You can play 21 questions with her. The kids don't bother us in nicer weather, whether or not they can wear shorts, because we tell them, when it's 70 you can, and they ask Alexa what's the temperature or what's the forecast for the day. They don't, it's a voice activated means for them to get to the internet without having to pull it up on a phone or get on a computer to see what the temperature is going to be, and list making. That's the other thing that we use her a lot for, although the kids have figured it out, and Jeremy is like, marshmallows were on the shopping list 20 times. Or candy, or yes. So anyway, Administrati, sorry, we went into our favorite things, but 'tis the season. If you have a pancake bot, let me know how fabulous it is. The thing that was sad is we were sitting here buying gifts, and Jeremy was like, yeah, get one. And then they were all in stock everywhere, Like, oh, I had my moment. My pancake bot moment. And it has passed. So the year of self-striping is almost up. Still have not come up with, and would love to take some ideas from folks on ideas for a color of the month. So last year we did the birthstones of January through December. And I went out and did some looking, and it's just kind of been churning in my background processes. Like what you would do for 12 months of the year, a 12 striper. It just hasn't gone up, but got other things going on.
Okay. Yeah.
Brain wise and travel wise, and yeah. I would be remiss to say that Grandpa Gene was a wonderful man. I didn't get to sneak that in. Always treated me like I was part of the family from day one. Right? Come sit down at the table and play cards with us. Grab a chair and join us. And had a wonderful sense of humor and a wonderful smile, and he was loved by many. So anyway, here's anything. How did I get from that to that?
Woo! Foreground processes.
Yes, yeah. the Silver Shed USA, beautiful. It's not like rose malling, but it kind of is. If you watched the Frozen special about Olaf's Christmas special that's coming out in 2017, you got to hear all about the rose malling that they went and found. These people got to go to like Norway and wow, for their job. Kind of made me be like, oof. Maybe I picked the wrong occupation.
I think I listened to somebody at Pixar talk about like location scouting and how like forget what location they had that, you know, like, oh, everybody else got to go to these amazing places and I didn't.
Well, they said that most of the animators were from California, and so they didn't even know what snow was like. They had a preconceived notion of what snow was like, and so they sent them off so that they could find out what snow was like. And then they made them all walk through the snow, like, wearing gowns, because Ilsa and I guess they had pictures of the... Anyway, again, squirrel! Night Owl Fibers. This is her Holly Jolly colorway. A very pastel blue, green, and mint. And so these are the Yourself Striping, the last Yourself Striping prices. I, again, because I was headed out of town, did not get the Novembers in the mail, so I'm so sorry if you're watching this and wondering where your package is. But that it's going out ASAP. Friday is generally the night when I package everything up and slap stuff on it and send it out. I like to batch things up, otherwise I feel like I'm running to the post office all the time. So... Any other administrati that is fit to be administered?
Well, I would like to do a drawing at the end of the year for the blanket. So I am sewing some of my blocks together. You can see like, oh, there's one that's not sewn. But it is coming along. These two are
pre-warmed.
Yeah. It's been on my lap.
Oh, it doesn't come like that?
No.
Oh. I thought maybe you just knit some warmth in there.
I did. I made it wool. But, and then there's the back. Still very fun. Pretty. Just a few ends, not a lot. But what I would like to say is that if you would like to join us in this, and you've thought about it and thought about it and thought about it, you can catch up. It's just 2 blocks a month to get to the end of what we're doing instead of 1 block a month. And if you've been keeping up, whatnot, great, wonderful, we're glad to have you. I looked, and 3 of my most actives are not from the United States. So we're doing a drawing for a prize at the end of the month for people who've completed blocks, and I will probably bleed that into the first week of the new year. Just because everybody's busy, and if you're on vacation during the Christmas holiday, it's perfect time to get a block entered. So go ahead and knit your first or your 12th or your 6th, whatever it is, block. Get it in before I decide to close it. Again, it will probably bleed into the new year just because I'm announcing it in mid-December and I want to give you some time. So probably the first week in January towards the end. So think, you know, before the 10th, but maybe not quite like the 2nd or 3rd. And we'll draw for a prize. I'm trying to brainstorm about what kind of prize I want to do. I have been using my mom's bags to house them, so maybe I can do one of my mom's bags in a XL. This is the XL size, or a double XL, because right now I'm housing my work in progress in one of them and my finished in another, so that this has room for all of the different balls of yarn that are going on in the individuals.
Very cool.
I know that sewing it together, I've decided that I might want to do this in sock yarn someday, where I just buy a bunch of white and randomly choose which colors go in. Yeah. Maybe buy the 2-color version of the pattern that's in fingering weight, and then just place the color wherever, you know, within it. It's all supposed to be, or maybe just make sure it's 1 block per color, or something like that. Or make them similar, like gradients for my scraps. I don't know. I had enough fun with this one that I'm contemplating a second one with scraps.
Cool, cool.
And I've also contemplated another blanket. But anyway, I'm getting into works in progress here. So I am going to, and again, there is an ongoing thread for this. So there's not going to be a new thread. Just enter your block into the ongoing thread from December 1st until, let's make it January 10th. I don't know what day that is, but it sounds like a nice round number. It gives you plenty of time to get one done and entered.
Cool.
And I will do a drawing. And again, probably most likely one of my mom's bags.
You could do January 7th, and then it would be 1/7/17.
Oh,
and
1717.
And then it would also be my birthday. Sorry. I just realized that in my head. I was like, January 10th. What if you did it January 7th? Then it would be 7th. Huh? That's my birthday too. Huh. Strange that.
I said the 10th. I don't want to take days away from people right now. Like, oh, no, the 7th. Oh, no, there's 3 days.
Darn you.
So that's the last of the diminished drawing.
Okay.
Sorry.
Do you have any finished objects, my lady?
I do. So I finished my Dashing Duo socks.
Yay! Dashing Duo snow.
Oh, and we had our KAL for these that we haven't really had a thread out there for.
Yep.
So we are going to extend that one as well
Into January.
Into January.
Yep.
So to the end of January. So we'll put out a thread. And so if you want to do Dashing Duo or just Duet, you can enter.
If you've already done it and you're just waiting for us to get the threads out, you're already there. Ding ding.
Yep, cha-ching, it's automatic. So yes, please get those projects done, and we are going to give people more time because we were not on the ball.
Yep, and we've got 3 Irish girls that gave us those beautiful 2 colors that you helped pick out, and then they even betterified, improved upon the theme. But those are very awesome. I love the colors.
Yes, so these are from our birthday kit. And
that's DIY stripes, right?
Yes, DIY stripes. 2 colors, mixed 50 grams.
But I could see, and you did one in a variegated, right? I could see it really awesome in a variegated as well, with those longer stitches.
That is still sitting. I've got one sock done and not a second started, so I will get to those eventually. But these are done. The exciting, fun 2-color ones are done. Not that the other ones aren't fun. And then I quickly whipped up 2 hats. I think this is the Frida pattern. It's a
Who's your head called?
Jared Flood. Something. So no, I was needing to knit a present for my newly minted brother-in-law. So I asked, "Oh, what colors?" She said black or navy, and I was like, "Oh, okay." But the only black that I had that wasn't in a larger quantity that I was going to use for something else was this super chunky, Barocco vintage chunky, and I had gray too. So I went and I looked for a gray pattern, and I found this one. This gray pattern is, again, Wool People. That's what I want to say. It's not his, but it's Wool People. It's a Wool People pattern, and it's really, really cute, and love it. And I should probably look that up before I shoot myself in the foot again with the patterns and whatnot. But I'm pretty sure it's Wool People. Now I just don't know.
Yeah, it's got some ventilation.
Yeah, but my husband said that this was too girly. He didn't think it looked manly enough. And that was just from a picture. I hadn't knit this one yet. So I made this improvised, just a plain from the cast on. So the ribbing is the same on both hats, but I just kind of improvised this plain beanie for the man.
So much less womany.
Yeah, whatever. and it's the holes, whatever, lace. And maybe And somebody would argue with me, but whatever. Like, I obliged, right? I didn't want to give Kevin a too girly hat. So when I was done with this hat, which was super, super quick, I whipped up this hat too because I wanted to knit the actual pattern that I bought, thinking it looked unisex to me. And so I really liked how it turned out. It has an optional pom-pom, which they tell you to just go YouTube because they didn't want to tell you how to knit a pom-pom or to make a pom-pom.
Pom-pom.
Just add a pom-pom, whatever that means.
Whatever that means to you.
Well, and they sell all those nice furry ones now, right? You can sew on a fur one. But, see how much what I think of those. I like pom-poms, but I just wasn't sure I had enough left over to make an actual good.
Mm-hmm.
And I want it to be the same color. I had enough if I mixed the black and the gray together in a pom, but I didn't want to do that.
Yeah, that might girlyify.
I don't know, just might. Anyway, so I like both these hats. I think they're very cool. One of them's being gifted. Maybe I'll give the other one to Sarah, his bride, and so
they can be sort of pseudo matching.
Yeah, it'll be the same yarn base, and the brims will match. But otherwise, they look different. And then I finished my Nanny Swimo project.
Nanny Swimo.
Except that the ends on the inside. So all the ends that have to do with seaming are done. I just got to do the one around the collar because the husband hasn't tried it on yet. So I always leave the one on the collar until he's tried it on. And then all of the ends that were from the color work. I think I did one panel and then went, I should just block this first. And so all the other 3 panels still have a lot to weave in. But again, all the ones for seaming, so like, you know, the sleeve ends and all of the armpit ones, you know, because that always looks crazy.
Armpit spaghetti.
Yeah, the armpit spaghetti. So, yep, just, I don't know, it's probably a good 20 more ends to weave in, but after having done like another million of them, it was like, okay, I am done.
Apparently cars are my end weaving and happy place.
Okay.
When we were traveling down there, I was working on my Advent project. I was going to say invention. It's not really an invention. And it, I got into a happy, like, I'm just going to weave in some ends here mode.
And I enjoyed it all weekend. It did make me happy to make progress. So I wove in ends on 2 blocks that I had finished long ago but hadn't woven in the ends for. And then I did some of this. So if you look at the back of this, like this particular section looks really clean. But there are other sections that are not so clean. So I'm getting through that. I'm trying to tell myself, like, every few of these blocks, then I just gotta sit down and put some of the ends in so that it's not a mess at the end of the whole project.
Yeah, where you get to where you couldn't weave in any ends ever again. Because
right. Or you just bring it somewhere and plop it down on the table and say, help me, somebody, please. Everybody do 10, and I'll just be so happy.
I'll ply you with caffeinated beverages.
Yeah, there you go. So, yeah, I've been working on this blanket and this blanket. So the Miter Square and the Persian Dreams. And then I have another, but that was it for finished objects. Sorry.
Okay.
So
I did notice that you transitioned, but
Nanny Swimo was the last finished.
When I texted you last week to tell you that we were heading down for the funeral, you were like, I just saw this like Eeyore, like with his, the cloud overhead. It's okay. I'll sit on the couch with this sleeve and knit this sleeve on this sweater. Chaz is like looking he picked his head up. Like, why is your voice doing that? Why is your voice doing that? But good to have it mostly done, right?
Yes. Oh yeah, and the husband can try it on. I'm noticing it's a little scratchy, but that's
Pre-washing, right?
yes. It didn't get any conditioning; it just got blocked. So it probably needs to go into the water with some soap.
Mm-hmm. I always notice the prickle factor gets me early on things, but then once I'm wearing it, it's fine. Right? It's fine.
Well, and it's not my sweater, so, and he wears undershirts with everything, so.
Okay. You guys can't see Chaz, but he's very entertained by my pile of pears. So I'm getting dangerously close. I have one more pair of socks for another week, another pair.
So you're ahead.
I am, yeah, because I kind of think the end of the year. Well, I always like to cast on a pair of socks when I'm home for Christmas for some reason. It seems like if I go back through Instagram, I've always cast on a pair of socks at Christmas. I don't know why. And so I knew that I would have that. I may have a pair on the needles already at that point. So this is the Show Me Yarn in the Jungle Boogie, which I say Jingle Bell Jungle Boogie. These are skew socks, and I thought I had the toes pretty close, but by the time I got to the top, they were in different places. So, and I think that a little goes a long way up at the top. But yeah, skews are pretty much my kind of like my vanilla socks. Like I think I mentioned that last time we recorded. I really like that it kind of changes throughout. You're not doing the same thing. It's not just knit and endlessly stockinette zombie style. But yet it is stockinette, like it's not textured. And the fit on my foot with the asymmetrical toe and the heel, which some people have a hard time. I must have a pretty shallow heel. I've never had any problem with them like you did fitting me. So my husband has when I've knit him skews. But yep, Show Me Yarn, love the base. This is our boot heel base. And very pink and green. Not specifically Christmas, but ended up being very Christmassy to me. And then I had left over from 2 Rhinebecks ago, Socks That Rock in the It's Not an Obsession, It's a Collection, and I got a whole bunch of them thinking I was going to knit a scarf or something. And then when I started knitting what I planned to knit, I don't think the texture or the pattern was coming through because this is a very light dark pops type colorway. And so when I was home for Thanksgiving, my mom mentioned that my dad wears like polar fleece socks even in July. Like he's always got cold feet. And I was like, how did I not know that my father always had cold feet? I have a solution for that. And so these just, I used 1.5 Socks That Rock, lightweight, is pretty much a sport. It's like 300 and some yards per 100 grams. And so I used 1.5 and they just zoomed. And then after that, I had to resist buying every single skein of sport that ever existed because it was like, why have I not knit sport weight socks before? This is fantastic. I think I knit one on a Saturday and the other on a Sunday or something like that. It was just like, bam, socks. Like, felt like I had one of those t-shirt cannons. It was like, poof, sock for you, poof, sock for you, poof, sock for you. And so, yep, this is a Christmas gift for my dad. I did trace his foot, so he probably suspects that something is coming in that way. But yes, I highly recommend a good sport weight sock.
My mom surprised me on Instagram with a picture of my stepdad in a a vest that I had knit for him a while back, and she said he has worn both of them today. So I have knit him 2 vests, and he wore both of them today.
I remember the stand vest that you were knitting, right?
Yeah, I have knit him 2. And the second one is the green one with all of the really pretty cabling and stuff, and that's the picture she took and put online, and the other one's just a stockinette one. But the man needs a colorwork vest now because those are warmer. They're twice as warm.
Because he's proven that he is best worthy.
He is very best worthy.
I'm excited about your mom's bags that are going to have the, speaking of pictures that she's posted, going to have the Oh Christmas Tree colorway on the bag. What she was knitting up looked really pretty. Can't wait until it's translated into fabric. All right, yet another pair of SKUs. This one is with, why can't I remember, the Berry Colorful Yarnings that I got at the Loopy U. And I decided to mix it up. This has very, it had very big color sections, and they're kind of in, I couldn't figure it out as I was winding it, sequence, right? Like, it's a very long repeat. That's the way that, like, sometimes it's pink and then dark purple and then pink, and other times it's pink and then dark purple and then blue. So it wasn't like it's not like Noro, where it's just kind of random or really, really long repeats, but it's not like a normal self-striping where I felt like it was like pink, blue, purple, pink, blue, purple, pink, blue, purple, right? Like it was kind of a longer sequence until you got to the beginning of it. Anyway, all that to say, I decided to stripe my self-striping, which I thought was a fun effect. So these are very matching but not matching SKUs. And here, I'll make the toes point in the correct direction. And the colorway is Popsicle, which is very fitting this time of year because if you stay outside too long, you become a popsicle. And just some very fun colors. Absolutely love the colors and the intermixing. I did have to admit I thought I had found the place where there would be no collisions, and there's like one or two places in here where I had to break the yarn because I was going to have pink on pink. And I didn't want to have like a section.
So that's a secret / pro tip there. She did have to break the yarn to get them to look this cool.
Well, because I didn't want it to have pink, like 4 rows of pink there, right?
Right. But I mean, so you think like, oh gosh, how perfect that looks, and you're getting going and you notice things starting to stack up on each other.
Yeah.
She breaks the yarn. It's not magic.
It hurt me to do it because it was one more end I was going to have to weave in the car, which I would have been cool with. But the other thing that I think is really cool about this is if you look at the other pair that I had, like you get a very dense stripe down here where the circumference is smaller, right? Like you haven't reached the biggest point of the stitch count. And on this, it's a lot less noticeable because you always get the 2 rows of the same color. You may have had a longer bit of blue here than you would have if it'd been up here, right? But you get reliable stripes even though the stripe is changing, if that makes any sense. Okay. SKU color theory. All right. I think last time we recorded, I showed off my the hat that I knit for my daughter's teacher, and these are the mittens that I designed and knit up for my youngest kindergarten teacher. And if a teacher deserved it, it would be a kindergarten teacher because those kids are just learning how to, do the things that they're supposed to and what's considered appropriate behavior. Like they haven't been broken in. They're wild stallions galloping around that classroom. And so her name is Mrs. Beebe. And so I designed a bee with 2 bees, a BB on the wings. And I put a chart out there if you want to look at the project page to recreate it. It doesn't have the top of the mitten decreases or the thumb in it at all, but you'd be able to look at the bee if you thought the bee was cute. And I substituted the bees for hearts because I thought it would be cute to have a bee with hearts on its wings as well. And then this is the inner hand is what slays me. Oh, I love that. It's so beehivey. Like these end up looking kind of polka dotty, but so beehivey. Oh, I just love it. And to think that these were both just sitting in my stash. Leftover sweater quantity set aside, leftover from a sweater quantity set aside. So the Amy's Punky Plum was, and I'm going to forget it, but I remember now the Dijon was my Leavenwick.
Yeah.
So pretty with the lace collar and the buttons, and just so gorgeous. But yeah, it's just to think that these were hiding out, and I just think the color is so perfect together. And then you'll see in my work in progress, I've really struggled with the other pair of pins that I'm trying to design, because I think that these just turned out so well that like my bar is like, I can't have it be clear down here, right? The colors have to sing together and the pattern has to look awesome like this. And I kind of made them big. I have rather small hands. Just thought because in case she had larger hands, right? To seem good for you. I mean, Jeremy can wear them. He just kind of has to wear them a little lower down on his thumb. So you can... And I purposely make it really long because I like it when it goes into my coat, especially here.
No, I agree. That's a good feature. I was thinking the other day how I wear my mom's fleece mittens. I couldn't find them on the way here. And I got a hole in the thumb, so I need to get myself another pair. But I love how hers are designed, but they're big. They don't have like a cuff necessarily. So I was thinking like, I need to like sew my own liner for my own knit mittens to be like those fleece mittens.
I kept on thinking of Rohan Knitter when I was knitting these, because she has those beads. And Mandy Bacon Fairy, they were talking about like buying a beehive, one of those big cylindrical state-of-the-art things, and having like a honey co-op.
That sounds fun.
Yeah, I almost wanted to buy in if it wouldn't have been so hard to get the honey. Honey, 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 honey.
I know some people who have a beehive. I should ask them how it's doing.
So yes, those are done. It's killing Quentin that we haven't given them yet. We gave Ellie's teacher his hat.
So Team Olson or Nelson?
Team Olson, yes. And she said that he wore it, and she saw him wearing it, like we're in a good vantage point to like scope out whether or not
it's cold outside. What hat is he wearing?
Yep. Did he swiftly put that hat that he was very interested in the design process. I was over there for Math Masters and asked if Ellie had input into the design process, and she had helped me pick out the colors and then talk about the design, not so much in creating it, but
that it should be #Team Nelson.
Yeah, Olson. Yes, and that she had input.
I just keep thinking, like, is it Miss Nelson is Missing? That one book with the substitute teacher.
Yep.
That ends up being Miss Nelson.
So I am in gift mode. Like, I'm knitting a lot of gifts, it feels like, and I'm very much looking forward to when I've knit very few sweaters this year. I don't know that I realized when I did it, although I should have, that deciding to knit a pair of socks a week and do design work and stuff was going to totally cut into my sweater knitting. And that is a truth.
Yes, it does.
Believe it or not, I do not have infinite knitting time. I cannot add something like knitting a sweater a week or a pair of socks a week, not a sweater a week, and be able to continue knitting sweaters. So I'm looking for, maybe instead of casting on a pair of socks for Christmas, I should cast on a sweater. Wouldn't that be fun?
Yeah.
Maybe I should do my design work.
Yeah. Gotta get that book done.
Obligation.
So, like I was saying earlier, I'm doing my long-running projects kind of have taken over for the last week and a half. I think I've been working diligently on them.
The Instagrams are full of lots of scrappy blankets.
Yeah, and maybe that's what's inspiring me to like, hey, I should grab mine and work on it, you know. But I also don't feel like posting a lot about it. So like this one, as soon as all 10 of the blocks for the inner circle get sewn together, that will go on Instagram, because I'm excited to get that inner circle done. What I picked up, and you saw the scrappies while I was finishing up that last
Yep.
square. And these are socks for my son.
Beautiful green.
I'm just doing a ribbing with like an arch ribbing, and then back out again. I'm going to make them fit my foot. I think I said that last time.
And then I realized that I'd created a monster with them.
Yeah. So I'm trying to get those done, but not as much as I'm trying to get other things done. So there's that. I have Lucy's socks still. So I'm probably not going to be knitting on socks for me anymore until these things are done. So once the Dashing Duo socks got off the needles, it was like, okay, these are the socks that I'm working on. No new socks are going to go on the needles.
No new socks.
But some sock yarn, this is kind of enabling. I got a 716 Knits sock yarn because she posted it, and it is
fantastic.
It's a fantastic colorway. I just am not like comfortable saying the name of the colorway. So yeah, it is Pussy grabs back. So interesting name, but phenomenal colorway. I know that I had a few jokes when I ordered it with her about the name, but yeah, I don't know. I'm just not comfortable saying it out loud. I can type it maybe sometimes. If you really asked me to, I would. Like, Amy, what was that colorway again? Be like, here, let me type that for you. But I'm sure I could get over it with a glass of wine, but right now I can't say it.
And you've put some patterning on what the pattern, you said you're making the pussy hat?
I am making the kitty cat hat, and I'm not making the one from the project. I came up with my own thing.
I thought I could lure her in to say. That is the literal name of the,
I know.
Yes, and it's supposed to look like a cat.
But I also don't think that I am using any of I've made hats like that in the past, so I'm not using any particular
You're just kind
pattern.
of riffing on it.
I am riffing, yeah.
So pretty.
So this is got a motif that will be in your book, right? So really cool. You have knit some things and shown it on Instagram, so I'm not revealing any secrets here.
Nope.
But definitely a really cool zigzag here. Zigzag, zigzag, up and down, and
that's fingering held double.
Fingering held double.
So super smushy, and I love the colors. Oh,
so I have one more repeat of the pattern, and then I will stitch it up and see if I look
square
like
top
kitty cat. Yeah. See if I look like a kitty cat when I'm done. Meow, meow.
If you ask Alexa what a kitty cat says, she says, meow, meow, give me some meow.
Yuck. Oh, jeez.
Anyway, sorry. Back to Alexa.
She is hilarious.
She's super hilarious.
So, yeah, I really like how that's knitting up. I'm excited to keep knitting with it. And
what size needle did you end up?
Size 5.
Okay.
So it
fingering held double. Yep.
It seems a little tight. Like, I think that like the fingering weight version that you had started would be less or less tight, I think. So maybe I would recommend 6 if you were going to do that. If I was going to do it again.
Yep.
But
because fingering held double can be like sport/TK.
Yeah. Yep. So I mean, I doubled the millimeters, so I thought, man, double the millimeters, double the yarn, but not exactly
I think it's working out.
It works out. It's just that I think if I were to do it again, I'd move up a 1 size for the way I knit. So it's that hat. And then last but not least, well, I don't know. I guess if you wanted to see here, block 11 is on the needles, and it is started. Pretty significant, see? But those ones at the end, they get pretty long, so it's like, it goes really quick when you're in the middle. Stuck in the middle with me. So then, last but not least, my Blue Sky,
21 color slouch.
yeah, 21 color slouch, but it's wool stock without the C, is the yarn type. And I am so in love with this that I have almost ordered and filled my cart a couple times with this yarn.
It's a really pretty progression.
So just feel the smush.
Springy too.
Yeah. So and so this is, you know, more ends to weave in. But it is fun to have all the colors of, so I think genius idea from Blue Sky Fibers. I think more people need to do like a color sample kit for their yarns. So that, and have a pattern with it, right? Like, oh, here's, and a small one like this is really nice for like shop owners. They can just knit up a sample, or maybe the company sent them a sample that was already knit. But, you know, just to be able to be like, oh yeah, and that's every color that we could order, you know, and so now I know, like, oh, these are all the colors that I could have in this yarn if I fall in love with it as I'm knitting it.
And you could kind of be like, that green and this blue, or, you know.
Oh yeah, yeah, you can kind of make it work on that. And then
you've got a lot of greens and blues right there at the beginning, which I really like.
Well, and I saw somebody on Instagram was knitting this, and they were wrapping the yarn around the tag that told you what color it was. So if you ended up with some left over, it would be on the tag that tells you what color it is. But you also have the pattern that says that, you know,
color
rows,
number,
rows, the first 4 rows are this color, and this, you know, and just tells you what you've been doing. And I've just been wrapping them as I go. So these are the colors that aren't quite yet into the hat. And whenever I reach a new color, I wrap it around the tag.
So they told you that color sequence?
Yes. Oh, yes. This is definitely the absolute following the pattern in every way.
Color by number.
Looks like the picture. I think mainly because I did want to be able to go back and reference, like, oh, this stripe here is cranberry compote. And if I wanted to order some deep violet, that's what it would look like.
Got it.
And I wasn't sure, you know, wrapping the yarn with the tags, I might not see that ever, but I might think, oh, I love that yarn, where's my hat? You know. And actually my mom may end up owning this hat, so we'll see. But yeah,
could end up on a bag somewhere.
Yeah, good. It's a cute stripe.
It is. I agree.
So yeah, I've been trying it on. It's a very loose and slouchy hat, true to its name. But again, enjoying this yarn immensely. I have not had a chance to wash it up and see how it fares in that regard, but as I am knitting with it now, I really, really enjoy it.
What's the content, my lady?
Content. I believe that it's just a woolen spun.
Don't know.
It's a fine Highland wool.
Okay.
And I believe that, you know, it's 2-ply, but it's very soft and smushy. I actually haven't knit with the Shelter, but I imagine that that's what Shelter is probably like, because it's very lightweight, woolen spun, you know, very light and airy feeling. You know, your merinos and your cashmeres always feel so heavy. This is a very light and airy, yeah, not as dense feeling of fabric. And lately I've been kind of into that. I've been like, ooh, I could make that entire sweater, and I could make it like go past my butt, and it won't weigh like a ton. Now it won't drape quite as much either, so you have to keep that in mind. But love the idea of it being like just a cozy sweatshirt hug.
Cool. You said last but not least. Was that a true last?
That was a true last.
A true last.
Well,
Okay.
I'm sure I have whips that are at home that I haven't touched in months.
All right.
These are all the active ones that get some love here and there.
This is Mrs. House's mitten.
Mm-hmm.
I had a different motif. Let's see if I've got all the motifs in here. Designed up and knit basically a mitten in it, and decided, I guess you can look at the difference here. So it was alternating between, like it was offset, right? Mm-hmm. And then there's kind of the lighter color outline and then the darker color outline. Mm-hmm. And it was a nice mitten. I'm not going to say it was a bad mitten. It just, you kind of had to really look at it. Mm-hmm. To see that it was H's, right? Mm. And then even when you were looking at it, you were like, are those really H's or is that just a geometric design, right?
Got it, yeah.
So these lines here were distracting from the H-iness. Okay. And then I think the offset was also distracting from the H-iness, as well as these lines being single lines and then the outline being the same width was distracting. So there was many different iterations before I got to this point. I probably knit this mitten 7 times.
I would say the first one, you could call it the hidden H's pattern. Mm-hmm. Yes. And just make something else with it.
Yes, yeah. But I wanted it to, this is going to a non-knitter, right? Like, as far as I know. I wanted it to be like smack you in the face H's. Mm-hmm. Like I didn't want her to have to explain to everybody that she ran into, supposed to look like H's. Mm. You know, a student of mine's mother knitted for me, you know, sort of thing. So, thickened the in-between, line them up so the H's are all stacked like blocks. And then I also, in addition to just messing around with the motif, also messed around with different colors. Mm-hmm. Because I was like, well, maybe it's because the colors are... No, it was not the colors. It was the motif. So this is Knitted Wit in the... it's her Victory DK, 100% superwash merino in the Icebreaker colorway. And I got a whole bunch. She had a birthday sale last year, and I just went like, I'll take this color and this color and this color. And it hurt me a little bit because I think I had 2 or 3 skeins of this. Mm. I was thinking I was going to do like a color work sweater, yoke, something. But it was the right thing. I tried to make all the wrong decisions so that I could keep this with its sweater quantity. And this is the correct. Okay. It's where it belongs.
Okay.
So I just have to design the thumb, the top of the hand closure, and throw a thumb in it and knit another one. So this was all basically, other than the ribbing, last night. So it goes pretty fast. I enjoy doing color work, and then it's, you know, DK / worsted weight yarn, so it's big needles, big yarn. Zoom, zoom. So hopefully that'll get done before school's out and it's no longer a Christmas present, but a New Year's present. And then the purple is that same Amy's Punky Plum. And I have great bit because I had left over because I knit a sleeveless top. It was a Wool People. I don't know why I'm not remembering it. But that has been fun, if not a little like frustrating. And then last time Amy was here, she gave me a advent calendar from Dreams in Fiber, and I very much wanted it to not be socks because they're 600 yards, and I used like 300 yards, and I played around with maybe doing like a Ellie and I matching, you know, and then it became like, no, then I'm going to have a scale, I'll be tied to a scale, sort of thing. And so I was noticing, I saw a commercial for something, I think, where they were like, it can be a headband, it can be a neckband, it can be a hat, it can be, you know, a cowl, it can be and so I was like, I'm just going to make a big old tube. Okay. And this is the Static Zing. So it starts out with the color, these two interplaying. I used half of that first color so that I can end with that same color. And then when you run out of yarn, you just swap in a new one. And so there's a kind of a fun visual effect of like, here's the purple, but here's the, you know, like it zigzags back and forth between the two. I really liked the way that she had set them up, that there was a contrast, but also like this pink is also visible in the next, so it was like a solid, variegated, solid, variegated, but like they fed into each other really well. It was obvious that Erica had put some thought into it, so that you didn't have a lot of clashing going on. Absolutely love this section right here. It kind of reminds me of the Leading Mid Fiber Arts, the forest, not the forest one. What is it? Foliage one, yes, with the orange and the purple and the pops of blue. The only kind of like...
That might be Metamorphosis. I can't remember. Well,
yeah, it kind of reminds me of both.
Okay.
But, so the only issue, so every morning I get up and I open the package. I haven't peeked. I didn't look ahead. I did get a late start. So I did know that at least this part was going to look nice. And then I went, I'm just going to go for it, you know. And I wind it into a ball, and then throughout the day, you know, put in a few stitches here and there, finish it up a little bit at night, and then I have that half ball because I'm half done with the purple. Well, this section, day 13 was a purpley color, day 14 was this blue color, and then day 15 is a very purpley color, so it looks like it's a very elongated purple section, which I have decided I'm fine with. But I need to come up with a name for what this thing is. So
Thneed.
It's not a thneed, because there's too many thneeds out there already. So you can, I would probably turn it inside out to do it, because then the pretty part would be on the outside.
Oh, yeah. Where you twist and do it too.
You can twist and double. Woo! It's going to be
Fancy
nice
here.
and static electricity at the end of this. You can wear it like a face mask. You can wear it like a cowl. You can wear it like a headband. I'm getting needled in the back. And then eventually here it's going to be long enough that I can, throw it around my neck. So, but yeah. Because I've got 10 more days left.
Okay.
So 10 more sections that are about that thick, right? So yeah, I'm absolutely loving it. It's been a fun thing to wake up. So thank you to you, and thank you to Erica. It's been fun to wake up and open the package, and I'm keeping a little, like all of the little envelopes are sealed with sticker, and so I get my sticker for the day. And sometimes I look. So yeah, 13 was eggplant and 15 was laurel
plum. Oh, plum.
Petalum, laurel petalum. So yes, the names are fun as well. But we'll see what day 16 brings. Hopefully it's not another blue, because then it will be really long,
really different.
And it's not exactly halfway. That was the other thing that I was thinking. Well, if it's in the midpoint, then it would, when you double it over, it would look like, anyway. And then my last pair of socks, and so this is just needle adjacent, is going to be my zombie. Oh, she did it for me because I said I needed another colorway. Zombie Fallout from Sun Valley Fibers.
That one's fun.
Yeah. That's going to be number 52.
Are you going to fall? What? Are you going to fall?
Yeah.
Okay. You signed up for it. Yeah, I think Karen is too. I was like, somebody can pick me up, so. I need some zombie Fallout.
Yes. Yeah. Well, it might just, yours just might say Fallout unless you explicitly ask for the zombie to be written on it.
Oh, okay, okay.
She wrote zombie on mine.
Okay.
I think she also wrote zombie on maybe Scott's Mr. Chickens.
Okay.
Because he said, I want that, like, again. So.
Okay.
And then this work in progress is, I'll talk more about it in enabling. So.
Okay.
Mm-hmm. And you did just notice that I had to break the yarn again.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm glad that I mentioned it earlier so that you guys didn't think that I was like hiding it.
Uh-huh. Right. Okay, so for enabling, I have a bunch of non-yarny things.
Ooh.
So I got into like this idea of seeing everybody with their crocheted blankets, like, oh, maybe that's faster. And I have a lot of ones where, like, I have way more than just like one little tiny block consumed, but if I just put it in a long blanket, that would probably, that yarn would be completely gone. I wouldn't like have like more scraps, right? Whereas a square is like, it's a square and it's done, whereas those long blankets, they seem to you just keep going until you run out of yarn and you add the next one. So I
kind of like the cowl, right?
Right.
I just kept working until it's done, and then I move on to another color.
Right. And if all of my scraps weighed the same, I would probably take you up on that. But I think Blinky Madness, like insanity ensues. So I got started by ordering myself some smaller crochet hooks. And I really wanted more sock rockets because I really prefer these.
They're very light.
Yes. And so I have decided that they are my favorite sock mode, and other ones I'm not as thrilled with, or like, again, these are my favorite. It's a personal preference, sock rockets. So I bought 2 of those in the size that I like, which is 2.25 millimeter and 32 inches
for socks.
Yep. And so I got some sock yarn implements, I guess. And then this was just like a long time coming kind of thing. I was on Instagram because I started following her. I think it was when Craft Stash. Kim. Like I kept thinking of her Instagram name, and it's like Kim had bought one of this woman's, I think one of her original paintings or sketches, but these are just cards. So she had an update where she was selling cards of her drawings. So I got the Corgi Star Wars collection. So it's a cute little dog. Here's Luke. There's Darth. There's Han. There's Leia. There's Yoda. Super adorable. Cute. I couldn't resist them. There was.
Are you going to actually use them as cards, or are they just going to be?
I don't know.
Art?
They might end up being art.
Mm-hmm.
I haven't decided. These I ordered because they were individual. Like that was a set, but these individual cards fell into my cart as well. Here's a Corgi unicorn. Very fancy. And then this one is a knitted scarf. Aww. Winterized Corgi.
Kind of reminds me of that hat that you knit for your sister-in-law.
Yeah.
The Patriots colors?
It was the caps.
Sorry.
The capitals. The other one that almost fell in my cart, he was dressed like a reindeer. And like a Rudolph nose and antlers, and super cute. But I got 2 of the unicorns, so that implies I would like to give one to somebody someday.
Mm-hmm.
And but I can't decide. I think that like I'm gonna fall in love with one particular one, and it's gonna get framed for sure.
Mm-hmm.
But the others might get mailed.
Very special occasion.
Yeah. And these days, like, they cost just as much as any card in the store.
Huh.
I mean, so maybe even a little cheaper, considering that the artist is selling them herself.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, I really enjoyed that. I have trouble with the shop name.
Campanella?
Yeah, it's E. Campanella. She drew a thank you dog on the back. And she has other things that aren't corgis, but corgis are what I fell in love with. I forget which one Kim bought, but fell in love with it, and then followed her on Instagram, and then just was kind of like...
You were down the rabbit hole.
Well, I was just continually refreshing because, like, for a while there she was trying to raise money for her dog, and that's where the corgi thing's set up.
Mm-hmm.
So she was drawing one a day in a different scenario, and she had one that was, like, with yarn all over it, and somebody snagged that one, and so she was selling them daily. And I was on the tail end of it, so I never actually got to buy one of those when she was trying to do that. But have been just following along, waiting for, I guess, the day for her to get little cards that I could order. I think it was mainly so that I didn't have to choose, because I could have gotten an art print probably a while ago from her website, but then I would have just had to have picked one, special one to get as an art print. But when they're cards, load them up. Give me more.
All right, that was the extent of your enabling.
Yeah, I'm sorry.
Look at this.
Yeah, I try to be good around the holidays.
This was Black Friday, okay? It just came.
Oh, that's true.
Yes. So
yeah.
Well, some of it. Let's just say some of it was good.
Okay.
So the colorway of the month for Leading Men Fiber Arts is Acid Trip. So their little pre-order where you don't have to contact them for a custom order, and you don't have to wait until they update their shop with the color that you absolutely love, was available. So I snagged a Sport Weight, see previous Sport Weight socks. And then I got their so this is Callback. And I really like the way it looks on the Callback. It's kind of got a nice twist, and so the colors stuck to it a little differently. That's the other thing I really like. I feel like I'm a yarn scientist when they post those every month, because I'm like, look at how differently it took on that base, and I don't know, because you really see the differences. So this is the Showstopper base, which is a merino nylon 75-25, and this is the Callback, which is a tighter twist 100% superwash Sport Weight. Again, in the Acid Trip colorway. And I told myself I could get these two because I'm going to get the year in review in Spotlight base. So then I wouldn't get doubles, right?
Right. Yeah. Definitely not doubles. Mm-hmm.
Nope. Very pretty. Love these pinks and greens. And then I had a very wonderful Miss Stacy. Stacy Knits sent a... and that sent me down another rabbit hole. Shutterfly ornament with my favorite picture of Maxie, giving me a little, just making sure he knew that I was there, and my knitting's in it, and so it goes in the little knitting section on my Christmas tree, which we finally got up. I've had... I believe it was Oh Susanna at one point, but now it's Mayflower Girl knit me a For Good, a little baby For Good, and I have Fifikins knit me a koala, and Amanda knit me a mitten, and so it's a little crafty section. And in that section, I added a Katrinkles, so you saw my little mitten and sweater that you can hand embroider, which I haven't gotten to because I'm bad. She's Katrinkles handmade. When I tag her on Instagram, I always start out with Katrinkles, and then there's a bunch of underscores and stuff afterwards. But this is the state of Minnesota in with knit stitches, and I happen to grab one for you.
Thank
so
you.
You get a Knit Minnesota. Cute. Yes. And she had a pretty good deal as well for Black Friday. I can't remember what the percentage off was, but I grabbed some.
Is that the thing that's in Canada that's all surrounded by Canada and the kids get?
So.
Yeah, it has that little piece in there too.
It's very geographically correct.
It is.
But I thought someday, I really like the way she had these embellished in her pictures.
Yes, I saw those.
Of the leaves. So you can do the outside kind of crochet style, but they're stitchable bamboo buttons. And so I just thought someday I might put a leaf motif on something, or if I did something for my mom, we're very botanically friendly family, because my sister, before she passed away, was a forester. And so I got some of those from Katrinkles as well. All right, what else is in here? Also Black Friday. I caught the Lolo Did It. Had a bunch of my favorite colorways, and because I could get them all at one time, I was like, and I'll add that, and I'll add this, and I'll add that, and yes. I was feeling very splattertastic. This is her plush sock, which is 75% merino wool, nylon, and tencel, and I'm really interested to see how that tencel fits up. It's very soft to the hand, but the durability is what I'm very interested in. So that's Honeyduke, so it's got that splash of orange, and oh, it's so pretty. This one is plush sock as well, and it's Simple Man. I think that my husband will enjoy some socks out of that, or I could knit a hat out of it. There's nothing that you can't knit with that. This is, again, that plush sock. Don't stop believing. Hold on to that feeling. This one is Pretty Little Zombies. The name and the colors got me. I like that. Awesome sock. This is merino wool and nylon. And then I think this one is my favorite. This one is the Breakfast Club. So I don't know which color is the geek and which color is the basket case and which color is the jock, but I do love the pinks and grays and greens. I think it's her pops of greens that run throughout all of this that made me go, and that one, and that one, and that one. And then I got a coordinating mini. This one is Coal Miner's Daughter, which I thought would go with this, or would go with this, or you can do with this, or you can do with that, or you can do with this. So I like this one. Pretty Little Zombies.
Yeah, I actually did put together a little yarn wish for the new year. And my little yarn wish that I put out on my wish list for my husband was to get Desert Vista Dye Works enough to do the knit-along for next year. So I already have 5. I did count. And so I only need 7 to round out the rest of the year. I contacted Susan and said, oh my gosh, what's going on here? And she said that Somebody's Kissing Santa Claus is the only one that wouldn't be available at my birthday if I wanted to, like, round out, you know, like, oh, get a few at Christmas and a few at my birthday. So I'm like, all right, so I'll make sure that one's highlighted, like, this is the one.
So you're going to do the self-striping KO next year?
Yeah. I guess that's self-implicit, yeah. Yes. I gotta do both.
All right, so on Instagram, I saw this very pretty skein. This is the skein that got me into the shop, and then other things fell in. This is Knit Style Yarns, and I believe her Instagram, The Stitch Mistress, knitstyleyarns.com, Sharon. And this is Goth Fairy, so the greens. Oh, the greens. I don't know if I remember.
I've seen Goth Fairy. Yeah.
You have? Okay.
Not in person. Okay. But, you know, out on
It's beckoned to you as well?
In a small way.
Never
entered my cart kind of way.
Yeah. Oh, so sorry.
Oh, that's really cool.
Yes. And so then while I was out there, she also had this, I believe it's a DK weight. Yes. And she had a Cyber Monday bluegrass. Bluegrass.
Now I want to take the rest of your blue with this and weave.
So this is for Mom. Avert your eyes. This is for my mom. I'm knitting her a cowl because I knit her.
Already got
a
I should have known.
A Measure in Love.
Wound.
Yeah, a Measure in Love cowl. I knit her one, and every time I see her, she's wearing it because she wraps it around her hood twice, and it keeps her. So I've been wearing my Vacillate that I knit into an Infinity cowl, and so I'm going to do a DK weight Vacillate with these two, and then some of that.
Oh, so
yes.
I was reading your mind a little bit there.
Yep.
Because I was thinking weaving it, and you were thinking Vacillate.
Isn't that just gonna pop?
It's gonna be beautiful.
Wow. So those other island of a skeins that got abandoned are going to be worked in. But she, wonderful person that she is, sent along a skein for us to give away. So this is Squirtle, which I can't even tell you how much I want to have it.
Can I enter?
I want the Squirtle. I want the Squirtle. And this is her trendy sock, which is 75% merino, 25% nylon. And it just says Squirtle to me.
Yeah, it's got, and if you look under the label, there's a lot more of the brown part of the shell in there too.
You can't go wrong with Pokemon with me right now, so.
That's true.
Or some people, although other people will tell you the game is dead. The game is dead.
I got back into it for the promotional things a little bit, and then these new options are calling to me. So.
And then the very wonderful Kate at Infinite Twists. I think she sent the green for me, but if you want to knit gradient angles with the Rainforest and Acid Green, you go right ahead. So yes, Gradient Angles is a pattern by not Twinset Ellen, it's Twinset Jan. And yeah, it's a kit for one of us to knit, and then she's going to, you can pick your colors, and she'll send, we have one to give away.
Awesome.
Love that cake. So, and yeah, green. The greens have been calling to me. And then last.
Chances are you finish it before I would, so.
Last is my work in progress, and I went out because people were posting on Instagram that they had found these Starbucks cups that have where you can put things in, like customize, and that it was thick enough to be able to put knitting in, not just pictures.
Right.
And so I went out and I searched everywhere, like eBay, Amazon, whatever. All of the Starbucks mugs were gone. So then I was like, and I think they were pretty spendy. I can't remember how much they were. I think they were over 20.
Okay.
And so I went out to Amazon and found where somebody had asked a question about whether or not they you could fit fabric in the in here. And so I found these on Amazon. I shall link them if anybody is interested in doing the same. But I knit a little sleeve that goes in there. So that is the I can't remember who it is now.
Oh,
the dyer. Yep. Okay. That I knit the little sleeve on. So if you look at this, you can just pull it out, and the bottom unscrews, and then the top comes off, which I really like because then I think you could just wash this as well, right? And you wouldn't have to worry about it getting water in anything. So there's that. And I started out with ones because I tried Ellie socks on and they were just about the right stitch count, and I was like, or I started out on zeros and they were just about the right stitch count, and so I was like, I'm going to go down to zeros because then it will be really snug and it will fit. And I ended up with 44 stitches, but it was one of those things where you set out with the needles and then I just stuck with them, because then I got to like the dark green stripe there, and I was like, why am I knitting this on zeros? It doesn't have to like wear well, right? So then when Amy got here, I was knitting it on 1.5s, and I didn't like it. I like that the density of the fabric, you can't see
the thinner yarn, right?
Yeah, but you can't see the silver through it, right? I didn't weave in the ends on that just quite yet, but if you take it off and you're like, what? There's an end in here.
Oh, I see.
Yeah. So again, I got...
Were the Starbucks ones like hollow on the bottom so you could just put a sock on them?
I think they hovered. Yeah.
Yeah.
So you could knit a proper tube.
Right, but like this one, it's almost like you want to have it go like a little bit below, so like knit just that much more.
But I don't think that. Yeah, I don't know. What do you think? Do you like the way that looks better to have it like pucker in? I think you're not.
Oh,
low enough on top.
Got it. Like, why is this not working?
It worked for her. So yeah, Papo.
Huh.
Do you like the one?
Yeah, I think it's all right.
So make it a little taller.
Or whatever you want.
I didn't mind the kind of levitating look at the bottom, I guess. But and then I think it would be kind of fun to kind of take these to like an event, right?
Oh yeah.
So then it would be uniquely my cup, right?
Absolutely, yeah.
And then you could switch it out for the seasons, right? You could have like a very Christmassy one
and an Easter one and a Halloween one.
Yeah.
And
so I got 2 of these as well. Would you like the one that already has the cuff, or would you like to design your own cuff?
I like the cuff.
Okay. Would you like it longer?
Kind of.
I have more yarn. So yes.
Fun.
Yeah. And those are Papo.
I will find my
Papo Master Chef photo personalized coffee mug. And if you need a last minute gift, I ordered these like on a Saturday, like midday, and Amazon delivered them Sunday, the next day. Like again, that could be like a Minnesota distribution.
Yeah.
So, mileage may vary, but it was like, bam! I had those mugs. You want 2 mugs? Bam!
Yeah.
Get yourself a cup.
I might have to get on this so that I can start, using this at work or something. I drink out of porcelain most of the times now. So, maybe it can be my water mug.
So yeah, I plan on just taking out, because I don't know, I think maybe one of the reviews said it didn't wash real well, this outer shell. But I just plan on taking
scratch or.
Yep. So I just plan on taking it out when I wash it. That way you don't get any water in there. But yep. Fun with knitted cuffs. But yes, genius idea that somebody had to get those mugs and do that. And then I'm going to shamelessly copy with a cheaper knockoff mug because all of them were gone. You couldn't get them on Starbucks. You couldn't get them in the store. People are selling them out on Amazon Marketplace for like $60 a piece or something like that, because I think they notice when they don't have stock of them, and they start to really get you. But
yeah, I bought something recently and I thought it was going to be a decent quality, and the quality was less than the price had warranted, and I was like, oh, it's one of those resale deals where like everywhere else was out of stock of it at the whatever price it should have been, and they sold it for a little bit more. I just thought it was going to be a higher quality product than it really was.
Oh wow. This seems to be like the kind of Pokemon section. Okay. But I very verbally complained about not getting a Snorlax on our podcast, and trust me, that was very small compared to the amount of complaining that my husband and children heard. I was bringing
me before then.
Yeah. On the way home from Ellie's orthodontic appointment the other day, we were coming, and I had it in my purse, and it buzzed, and we just pulled into the driveway, and there, sitting in the driveway, was a 2600 Snorlax.
Wow, big one.
Yes. Well, it was at first it was question marks, because I think it's the biggest thing I've ever caught.
Right.
And I got him. He didn't run off. It didn't take me 5,000 Ultra Balls. I now have my Hujo Snorlax.
Very cool.
Yes. Jeremy said, that's your Christmas present. And I was like, you can't make them appear. You don't have that power. So, and then I've gotten a few Dittos, which is kind of cool. And actively working on trying to hatch some of the Gen 2 babies. If you're a Pokemon fan out there. It is very cold here in Minnesota, so a lot of indoor walking and letting the Wi-Fi wander get me a few kilometers, a few Ks. And then this is also the section where we talk about ZK, which we've had goings on.
We did. We had sent around some of our marketplace vendor and had a lot of people respond to that, and they are listed in our marketplace announcement thread. Yes,
go check them out.
So yes, those people have been confirmed and will be vending at our marketplace. Yay!
Super exciting.
So that all of that is not quite yet finalized, so there might be some more additions, and so
stay tuned.
Be aware. Stay tuned. And
we are fast approaching. There are how many days left? 16 days left. About 2 weeks left in this year. So the cancellation policy kicks in the new year. And so we've had a few cancellations, and so we should be seeing some movement off of the wait list. So sorry to all those that were unable to attend. We hope to see you at a future event, and for those who have their fingers crossed on the wait list, that should be moving at least a little bit. So that is all that I had to say about that.
Yeah, I think that's where we are, right? We announced the marketplace people. We're very excited about all of the people who've said yes and have jumped in with us on the marketplace.
Yep. Some returning, some brand new.
Yes.
Good mix.
Very cool.
Good mix.
Yep. And some like returning from previous years, like they weren't there last year, but they were in previous years, kind of thing. So that was nice too.
Yep.
So fun stuff.
Definitely.
The new year, I'm gonna have to start thinking about the retreat more.
I can't believe it's gonna be a new year, but yeah, there's that.
Yeah, I think 2020 is gonna blow my mind. I think when we reach 2020, it's gonna be like, oh my god, I'm old. Where did the time go?
2020. Yeah. I have a milestone birthday that year, so that's the year that I'm hoping to be in Hawaii surfing on January 7th, 2020.
Okay.
Yeah.
I have no grand plans. So
for your next milestone birthday?
Yeah. Okay. In April.
We gotta make some. I've already laid down the law. I'm like, Mom, you're watching the kids. I'm gonna go somewhere warm.
Okay.
You had me in this godforsaken month, and now I'm going to go somewhere warm in January.
Yeah, I gotta figure out. Yeah.
You're doing something. Desert Vista Dive.
Yeah. Well, I also want a Hanson e-spinner. I mean, that's a very large item that could be on a list somewhere. But at the same time, that's as minimal of effort that could be exerted for such a milestone event. But I also don't think that we did much for my husband's milestone birthday. So it's like,
we're talking about 40.
Yeah.
If anybody out there is like, why are they just calling it milestone? We can say 40, right?
Yes.
We can own it.
Yes.
Let's own it, Amy.
I will be 40 in 2017.
Woot woot. And I will be 40 in 2020. Add the 2 days together, or the first 2 digits, the last 2 digits together.
Yep.
That's my age, yo.
Yeah, I guess I'm just, don't know what to do for it. I'll be officially a master's athlete in CrossFit if I wanted to like change careers or something. Like, no, I tried to jump on a box and ruined my shin again, so I'm done with those nasty things. You probably won't see me do one for the rest of the year. Oh wait, no, the next following year. It's like, wait a minute, there's not much of this year left.
That's
not saying much.
The dad grown jokes this time of year.
Yeah,
like, see you next year.
Or I'll do that till the end of the year, and you're like, that's not very long.
I'm not doing that until next year.
Yeah, exactly.
Alrighty, we've gotten to the ramblings portion of our podcast.
Sure have. Bye.
Bye, Ufta.